Hey y'all, welcome to the Memoirs of a Sinner, a personal growth podcast by Her Kinkz.
If you have not watched The Lion King as an adult, I'm going to need you to go pause this episode right now. Go watch it. Then come on back and push play, right? To get this word. Yes, my grown behind still watching children's movies. I'll explain a little more in detail of what's going on there on another episode. But I'm want to stick to the topic with this one, right? So I'm over here watching The Lion King, and Simba that took me down the road and brought me back, okay? My apologies in advance because I am congested. I have a weak immune system, but we getting this episode out regardless, okay? So, in watching The Lion King from an adult's perspective, because it hit different, I noticed Simba's struggle with shame and how he had ran away from his inheritance and the promises that was for him because the enemy had convinced him that he wasn't good enough and that everyone was going to hate him and be disgraced by him because of what he had done. Then he had got a reminder while he was in this wilderness far away from where he was called to be. It was the voice of his father that said, "Remember who you are." That voice on the inside telling you to remember who you are. You are forgiven. You are redeemed. You are worthy. You are set apart. From the beginning, God knew you. Where you would fall short, where you would need grace, and he still loves you. Still, remember when Mufasa was telling Simba that, I'm like, God, remember who you are, okay? In Luke chapter 15, verses 11 through 30, Jesus tells the parable of the prodigal son. It's a story of a boy, a son, who asks his father for his inheritance. And his father gives him his inheritance and he goes off, he blows the money. After he blows the money, there's a famine in the land and he goes to look for a job feeding pigs. And he's trying to not only have the job feeding pigs, but he wants to eat what the pigs eat, and that's not even an option. And then he remembers, like, hold on, even my father's employees, they have more than enough food. They're not just fed, but they have more than enough. I'm gonna go back to my father and I'm gonna tell him, you know what, I messed up. I'm sorry. Can you forgive me? And at minimal, can you just hire me to be one of your servants? Because like I'm in a bind. I'm doing bad out here. I'm on my knees. And on his way back to his father sees him in the distance and he rejoices. He's excited. He's full of joy. And he begins running towards his son. And he grabs him to kiss him. He tells his servants, grab the best robe and put it around him. Grab a ring for his finger. Put some shoes on him. Grab some sandals and put them on his feet. And tonight we are having tomahawk steak and lobster tails because we are having a celebration. For my son was dead to his sin, but now he's alive. He was lost and now he is found. And in the midst of this, the son trying to explain like, hey, dad, I messed up. I'm sorry. Can you hire me? And the father ain't responding to none of that. I'm just glad that you're here. I'm so glad to have you here. I'm glad that you are back. Welcome back. I'm so elated to have you here in my presence. It's a full-on celebration to knowing and feeling and experiencing you here in my presence. I don't need to even hear all of that, right? My favorite song lyrics says, even if I run away, even if I've fallen on my face, You will prepare a place for me, waiting on my full return to thee. Kiss away my brokenness, cure me from this helpless heart. You are the lover of my soul. I'm coming home. When you have wronged someone, whether it's through your own conscience or the person addressing to you what you have done to hurt them or cause frustration or whatever, um, there's an awareness that comes with that, right? So either you're self-aware or you become aware because somebody told you what you did. Regardless, with this awareness, a healthy person will be grieved within themselves because they didn't consider the all of the decisions that they were making that was going to lead to something that was going to hurt you. Then they have to someone that experiences conviction with God will also feel grief there, and like, man, God, I sinned against you by hurting this person, because you when somebody does something wrong to you, they are also sinning against God, right? So when you do something to hurt somebody else, you in fact are sinning against God as well. So it doesn't just go for them, it goes for you too. And so with this awareness, Paul says in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 6 through 11, that the punishment inflicted is sufficient for that person. So the punishment that you want to give them is sufficient. However, he has a better plan. He has a better idea. Instead, he says, I prompt you to forgive them and to comfort them. Otherwise, they will be overwhelmed by excessive grief. So not only dealing with the grief of their consciousness, their personal grief, but the grief from God and the grief from you too, and whoever else is involved. That's a whole lot of stuff to unpack. Instead, you should love on them, comfort them. And this is being shared with you so that you aren't taken advantage of by Satan. For we are not ignorant of his schemes. He wants to steal, kill, destroy, cause confusions, continue to have us operate with the spirit of bitterness and anger and resentment. That is his plan, to continue to cause a bridge between people so that they can look at each other as the enemy and not him, right? When he is the real enemy. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. If you look at my life, first of all, 3 years ago, 3 years ago, this would not be my outlook, right? This would not be my advice at all. That's why God didn't have me on this podcast talking about it, because he knew I lacked wisdom, right? This is wisdom. This is true wisdom, right? And so I've grown so much. I'm such an adult. I'm so wise. But anyways, if you look at even at my life as an example, just from listening to my podcast episodes and maybe knowing me personally and seeing how far I've come, you can look at my life and not look at it as a standard, but as a step, right? Anything that you have seen God do in and through me, how he has not only forgiven me. If God can forgive me of all my stuff, he can forgive you. If I can be redeemed, baby, I'm telling you, ain't nothing that you've done, nothing that you have faced, said, done, whatever, that God won't comfort you and forgive you and still give you promises, okay? Because if he did it for me, he would do it for you. I am a step, okay? I have not began to tell the half of all of my foolishness. Some stuff I'm just taking to the grave. God said he don't remember I'm a new creation, and that's the end of it. I'm new. I am a whole new person. I don't even know nothing about what nobody else be talking about my past, because I don't even be knowing what y'all be talking about. But anyways, I am a step and not a standard. So anything that he has done in and through my life, If you look at my life, if you're aware of my life, because I'm private like a mug. If you are aware and you've been able to actually witness the transformation in me, through me, especially my life within these last 3 years, and you can see the glory of God in that, because it is a miracle. Okay, it's a miracle work, and God is very much present. But you can look at that and see a step, right? Because anything that he has done for me, he will exceed for you. Everything that he has done for me. If I sat and made a whole episode, because I have so much that he has done. So, especially since I moved to Texas, I'm getting emotional. There's so much that he has done. And this is only a step for you. He will exceed, pressed down, shaken together, and running over for you. If I'm redeemable, so are you. If I'm forgiven, so are you. Welcome home. I love you all in real life.
If you'd like to stay connected, you can follow me on Instagram at the Insta About Her, TheinstaAboutHer, and make sure you subscribe and leave a review.